Hi everyone, welcome back to part 3 of the control hotkeys for PowerPoint. So previously we left off on Control P for print. Now we're going to be moving on to Control Q, quit. Okay, now Control Q, if you see here, if I press Control Q, it's going to close me out of my current presentation, and it's the same thing as if I press the X button. And it's asking me if I want to quit, save or don't save. Right now I'm going to press no, don't save, because that is just an example. So there we go. It just automatically quit on me. And I'm going to reopen it back up. And there we go. So Control Q is quit of the PowerPoint. Control R, right align. Okay, so now right align, which we've left off on Control L for left, Control E for center, Control J for justify, and Control R for right. So I'm going to press Control R, and it's going to adjust to the right. Control S, save presentation. Okay, so you guys have been saving your PowerPoint files through this button here, save, but there we go, the hotkey Control S is shown. So Control S, and usually the way to know that if you have saved it is usually there should be one of these undo or redos button that should be disabled. So right now the redo button is disabled, so that shows I did save my file. Control T, text. Okay, so now if I click on the slide, press Control T, well actually the thing is you have to press Control T this way. You select on a specific text, so the T for text, and what T is you're editing everything from your home tab here on a new window that pops up. So you can change your font this way, so everything is edited as it is from what is shown over here, but this just pops up a new window. That's all what Control T is. So heading, font style, bold, italics, size, font color, and all of the other options for editing the text. So I could go through all these and re-edit them, and there we go. There are some of the edits that I just made, and I press Control T again, and I'm gonna unclick all that. So that's basically all Control T is, and also character spacing. Just go and play around with that as well to check it out for yourselves. Control U, underline. Okay, so the popular underline here is the U, but Control U is automatically the hotkey for underline. Control V for paste. I think we all know the two key combinations for copy and paste, Control C and Control V. So I'm going to copy what I've highlighted, what I've selected, and then I'm going to press Control V for paste. And there we go. So paste is there. And Control W, I am closing the PowerPoint window. So if I press Control W, I'm going to press don't save. Now here's the thing. There's nothing that just popped up. The editing slide, the editing options are all disabled, but this the program window is still open. Well, know the difference between W and Q is that W closes the window, which what I just did, that the window that you see, but Control Q closes the program itself, which is this X button basically. So if I'm going to press Control Q, there we go. That's what it does. So know the difference between Control W and Control Q. And then here we go. Control X is X for cut. And so you're going to be deleting some sort of selection. So let's say if I select the word welcome and I press Control X, works the same way for deleting something. So if I selected all that, Control X, there we go. It's all gone. And hotkey that another hotkey I want to show you guys, which is not listed here, but which I have just recently learned is if you hold the Control button and press the backspace or the delete button, the Control Delete, it works the same way as Control X when you're selecting, but Control Delete or Control Backspace, you don't need to select. It just deletes whatever you want to delete. So Control Delete, delete, delete. Yeah, so it works just the same way. So if I were to delete whatever is forward of the cursor, then I would press Control Delete. There we go. So on my computer right now, I see the word for backspace, which is deleting whatever word that is previous of the cursor, but the button that I see here on my computer, delete, deletes whatever is in front of the cursor. So Control Delete or Control Backspace, just knowing what to delete, which text in front or back. So Control X, deleting what you select, but the delete is much more faster. Control Y, redo. Now redo is very popular. It is right here. It is disabled right now, but it's because I've been Control Y is this redo here, right there, redo clear, Control Y. So what I did before was I deleted the word service before. So if I go back originally, it had the word service, but if I wanted to redo that again, redo that action, Control Y, and it does it. So let's say if I do Control Backspace in this instance. Okay, so I did it. If I want to if I press on redo, it's gonna keep repeating the process over and over again once you did some sort of action. But that is when Control Z comes into play, undo. The hotkey is Control Z right here, undo typing Control Z. It brings me back what I redid. So Control Y, the redo is a forward action, so you're repeating or you're doing something that you did once and it's going to do it again. And Control Z is undo, where you're doing a backward action of what you didn't want to do, but you want to go back to it. And so finally we have reached all the way through the alphabet of the Control hotkey for PowerPoint. So in review, we're going to go through this. Control A is select all if nothing is selected on the escape key or is pressed, selecting all the slides. So if you select in the text, if selected background of a slide, selecting all in the slide, and if selecting in the text box, selecting all text. So if you're selecting in the text box and you press Control A, you select all the text. If you click on the background of the slide here, and press Ctrl A, then it's going to be selecting all the content inside the slide. And if I click on the slide itself, Ctrl A, select all the slides. Ctrl B, bold, which is only for text, which is right here. Ctrl C, copy. Ctrl V, paste. Copying type of selection that you highlight. Ctrl D, duplicate, only working. It does not work in the case of text, but it works for a text box like this, so Ctrl D. Or it also works for images, but usually it should have some sort of box. And also for the slide, Ctrl D, duplicating the slide. Ctrl E, center align. Ctrl F, Ctrl E, right there, center align. Ctrl F, finding the text of whatever you want. You can match the case, or you can find the word itself, and replace this. Ctrl H. Keep in mind, G, group items, only working for images, but not text. H, replace, which is the Ctrl F and you go to replace, or you can go directly to Ctrl H. Find whatever you want, replace it with that word. If you want to match the case or find the word only, if you do that, then you click on replace all and replaces it. I, italics, Control I there. J, justify, aligning the text to both the left and right margins. Okay. And Control J, justify, that is that. Control K, hyperlink, select the text that you want to hyperlink with and look through your selection here. Control K. Just look through what you want to attach a specific text to something else. Control L, left align. Control M, inserting a new slide. And Control N, new presentation. Control O, open an existing file through File, Open, or Control O. P for print, Control P. Control Q, quitting the program itself. Control R, right align. Control S, save. Control T for text, just editing through a window, or you could just edit this way here. If I go through, you have make it full screen, you have more selection to edit your text here. Control T, Control U, underline. Control V for paste. Control C, Control V. Control W, you are getting your exiting out of your window, but you're still opening the program, which in this case you can still open an existing file. Control O, and then find whatever you want to open, which I saved here, Sunday Worship, and open it that way. Control W, closing the window. Control X, cutting the text, whatever you are selecting. If I click on this slide, Control X, it takes away that out. So Control Y, redo. So it's gonna look like a reflection of the undo button, which is gonna look like that, or it's gonna be looking like a cycle loop. So repeating an action or redoing an action. Now this icon only shows up in the case when I press an undo. But in many cases, if I do some sort of action, then it will enable that to repeat an action that I did before. So Control Y, redo. This is the actual icon for redo, and Control Z, undo. And that is all. Master this. Let this be your hotkeys. It's very useful. Best of luck, and keep practicing always.